All right, let me ask you something. How many fills do you actually play? Not how many fills have you practiced, not how many fills do you know. How many do you actually play? How many do you actually reach for when the moment is there? Probably the same 4, 5, or 6 fills. And you've been playing those fills for 10, 15 years, maybe even 20. And I'm not saying that to embarrass you. I'm saying that because I know exactly how it feels. Because I was you, and I've worked with hundreds of drummers like you. Drummers who can play, drummers who can hold the groove all night, but when it comes to fills, they reach for the same fills every time. And I want to show you exactly what happens, why you're still stuck, and more importantly, I want to show you the way out. Now here's the problem. Every book, every course, every YouTube video gives you the same thing. More vocabulary. Now while that sounds great, what they usually give you is more fills to memorize. More licks to store away and more things to retrieve when you actually need it. But the vocabulary is not really useful and you can't really recall it when you need it. Think about language here for a moment. You don't speak it fluently because you memorized the sentences. You speak fluently because you understand everything behind it. The grammar, the systems, the rules. And if you keep trying to memorize sentences, you're not going to be able to become very fluent behind the drums. So once you have the system behind the great fills, you'll be able to play anything. And that's what I'll show you today. Now for today's session, I'm going to focus on 16th notes because it's the most common subdivision where people get stuck. If you look at 16th notes, how we usually practice them is in groups of 4, something like this. You already know that and you use it and you're bored of it. And maybe you know the paradiddle, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And you play that around the kit. Which is great. So basically in the 16th note fills that you use singles and doubles. Now we're going to play the exact same notes, but we're going to change how you play them. And that is the reframing that you need to play effortless fills instead of trying to memorize 650 random fills. This is what I call the creative strategy. And the first thing that we do is group the 16 notes in total in a few different groupings. And for today, that's going to be 3, 5, 3, 5. Still making up for 16 notes in total and still playing singles and doubles. That's it. It's so simple. And it's a new way of looking at the same 16 notes that opens up a world of possibilities, endless possibilities. So here's what we'll play. We're going to play right, left, left for the group of 3 and right, left, left for the group of 5. And we'll repeat that twice, giving us 16 notes in total. Now, one important thing is that the creative strategy starts with choosing a grouping or grouping the same notes differently. You can use either singles or doubles. And in a little bit, we'll also discover how we can actually include the bass drum. But stick with me, we'll get there. For now, it's going to be groups of 3, groups of 5. The next step in the creative strategy before you actually apply it is to think about dynamics. If you play everything as loud as you can, it's not going to sound good. Playing dynamically brings everything to life. So what we'll do is we'll play the right hand as an accent and the left hand as ghost notes. So right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, and again, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left. Sounds like this on the snare, and I'll keep my left foot on the quarter note so I know where my time is. Pretty easy, right? And listen, it's the same exact notes as we already played. While those were just singles, we're now playing also double strokes, but it's the same amount of notes, right? Now, the moment you feel comfortable with this pattern on the snare, you can speed it up a little bit, but stay relaxed. Do not force it where you're tensing up the body. You're screwing your improvement rate. So you're gonna get stuck if you constantly work at stressing the body and not playing it very comfortable. You gotta be able to play it so comfortable that it feels super relaxed and effortless. Only then can you move to the next step, which is speeding it up a little bit and integrating it into a groove. This is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. As soon as you can play this stuff, you gotta implement it into a groove. Sounds like this. All right, pretty cool, right? Next step in the creative strategy is orchestration. Where do I move my hands? Now, here is one of the key things that I always do with anything new, any new fill I steal or borrow or learn, or idea that I learn. I don't really learn fills anymore, is move my right hand. So I'll move my right hand to the floor tom and play the exact same thing. Now your next step when you do this is to move your right hand while you're playing, challenging your brain to be able to move while you play. Same thing, I'm just going to move my right hand to the high tom and to my second floor tom. Amazing, right? Next step, again, play a groove and play it as a fill, so you integrate it in a way that it's going to be useful. Did you see what I did right now? I was playing my right hand on my stack and I added my bass drum, which brings me to the next step in the creative strategy, which is adding a layer. So we can integrate the bass drum simply by adding our bass drum to our right hand while we play on a cymbal. So same thing, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left. Listen, guys, everyone, this is the exact same thing as... It's just grouped differently, played differently, but it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same amount of notes. It's just a different combination of singles and doubles. So if you know your singles and doubles, which you do because you've been playing for 15 years, of course you know your singles and doubles. It's just how you structure them, how you play them changes. And this changes the whole game. This is the fresh new approach that you need to the same stuff that you've been playing for years. It's just how you view those notes and how you move them around that makes it sound amazing. Now here's another step in the creative strategy. We go back to dynamics. Dynamics are something you can bring back every time. Let's say I was playing this one. And I'll accent the first note, my left stroke, on the group of 5. So right, left, left. So it's going to be... I mean, come on, this is exactly the same. This is just a mix of right, left, left, and right, left, right, left, left. Now, of course, there's different levels. We could move the numbers around, right? Make it 3, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3, 5. You can change the order of these notes and create endless possibilities and groovy stuff by just applying dynamics, orchestration, adding a layer, again, dynamics. And then 5 is moving the numbers around, right? This stuff is so easy. Actually, it's really easy, right? It's just singles and doubles and adding a bass drum. And that's a creative strategy. It gives you endless possibilities. So if you've been stuck in the same fills and you don't know how to break free from this, this is it. It's not 650 random fills in this course. It's not watching 15 YouTube videos, finding 100 fills to practice. that you then have to memorize. No, it's this one creative strategy. I can put this in one A4 paper, right? That's it. And then you have the strategy that you can apply to anything that you learn without memorizing a fill. Because the only thing that we're doing is structuring 3s and 5s, singles and doubles, in a few different ways. There's only 6 combinations. And the thing is, the moment you understand that, you can restructure them on the fly while you play. You're not even thinking right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left anymore. You're not even thinking 3-5, 3-5. You're just letting your singles and doubles flow naturally. It will come out by itself. And that is what you need. You don't need 650 random fills. You need this one strategy that gives you the tools to come up with fills on the spot while you play. All right, everyone, you can see how passionate I am about this stuff. What I've just showed you is just one example. It's the entry point of a creative strategy and the grouping system that allows you to create endless and effortless fills on the fly. Who doesn't want that? Who wants to remember or try to memorize 650 random fills? I don't. And obviously it hasn't been working for you either. Otherwise you would be flying around the kit with hundreds of fills, but you're not. And once you understand this, you'll start to hear it with all your favorite drummers. It's always been there. You've just never really been taught the language, the right way of approaching this. So here's what I want you to take from this. The reason you're stuck isn't practice, isn't talent. It's the approach, the how you play it. And the whole industry has been telling you, collect more, learn more, practice this, practice that. But that approach does not create freedom. End of story. Creative freedom is not just a vocabulary thing or a fills thing. It's a system. It's understanding what's behind it and understanding the language behind it, of the building blocks. And this is what I teach in all my programs, in all my coaching. And you're not going to find this approach anywhere else because it's the way I explain it that makes it way more easy to understand. At least I hope it does for you, because it's not complicated. It never was. And I can literally write this whole method on one A4 paper. So go to your kit, take this sticking right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, move it around the kit, apply the creative strategy, apply it to music, and just listen and feel. Because the moment you hear how this grouping changes the feel, you really hear it and feel it, something changes. And once that changes, you cannot go back to the old way. And that's the beginning of creative freedom. Go and try it out.